What's up, everybody? Welcome to a Saturday edition of The Squeeze. I am Tyler Conium. Happy Saturday. Happy start to the weekend. Very exciting weekend in sports. And also, if you're a wrestling fan, and especially if you're a wrestling fan in Toronto, as we have Forbidden Door tomorrow, too, at Scotiabank Arena. I will be there live and in person. Very, very excited about that. But before we get to that, let's talk about last night. 2-1 night last night, which is great. We had the LA Sparks on the money line. That closed at plus 125. We had it at minus 110. So if you got in late, you gained. I lost 8% CLV on that. Plus 125 it closed that. They won by a bucket. We hit that. Tampa Bay Rays, man, I put this out there all day about them being minus 116 on the run line with Zach Greinke pitching. They won 11-3. Walk in the park. We're going to go back to that today. We did lose. We had Hamilton to win by a field goal. They got smoked by Montreal, 38-12. So that put an end to, I had been undefeated betting spreads in the CFL. That went out the window. But a 2-1 day and up a unit as we head into Saturday. Before I get to today's bets, just want to talk about the QR code or the link in the description. If you use that, it'll take you to all the sports books that I love, that I use every day, that I recommend, and you can make a minimum deposit, and then you're guaranteed the best exclusive offers or bonuses that you're not going to find anywhere else, thanks to my partnership through BetStamp and through those books specifically. So use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description, sign up for a book, make at least a minimum deposit, you're guaranteed the best offers. Okay. Let's talk about today. We're going to start in Major League Baseball with the Jays and the Oakland A's. We're in the Jays stuff today, obviously. This line has already moved. I bet under 9 at BetMGM. This is already to minus or under 8.5. You can obviously do an alternate line. I like round numbers because that means we have push potential. It's not just a definite win or a definite loss. Under 9 here between Oakland and Toronto. Okay. So the A's won the first game yesterday 5-4. That game obviously would have gone over. But the Jays recently are playing to the under. They have, well, the last two they've gone over, but then 2-0, then they lost 11-0 to Miami. Actually, sorry, they've been the last 4 or 5 games they've gone push, over, under, over, but then they'd gone under 6 straight times. And you look at Oakland, well, they don't score any runs at all. In their last 10, they're 7-2-1 to the under. They're also 2-8. So yesterday was the first win in 8 straight games. Of course, they beat the Blue Jays after they went on a bit of a run there. Oakland's a very weird team. They're a terrible team, but been very weird statistically. But again, 7-2-1 to the under as of late. Jays 5-4 to the under. Now, the pitching matchup today is interesting because you've got Hogan Harris going for the Oakland A's, who actually hasn't been that bad, but he's pitched in 6 games. They've made him into a starter. He's gone 6 innings and 7 in his last 2. He's given up 2. He's given up 1. He's been pretty good for the Oakland A's, and the Jays haven't been able to score many runs. You've got Jose Barrios going for the Blue Jays. He's been a welcome surprise back to the rotation. He did have a rough outing his last time out against Miami. In 4 innings, he gave up 5. But previous to that, he'd gone 7 2/3, given up 0. 6 innings, gave up 2. 6 innings, gave up 1. 5 2/3, gave up 0. 7, given up 1. So previous to his bad outing against Miami, he'd given up 4 runs in his previous 5 starts total, going into at least the 6th inning, if not the 7th, in all of those starts as well. So I think it's a great bounce back spot here for the Blue Jays. I think they probably win this game, but just the way these things have been going, I do like this game to go under 9. Neither team really has a potent offense by any stretch of the imagination. The Jays should, but they don't. And again, like I said, under 7-2 for Oakland and 5-4 for the Blue Jays. I did have one other thing I wanted to mention here. Under is 8-1 in the Athletics' last 9 games on the road. Under is 6-1-1 in their last 8 overall. Under is 11-2-3 in their last 16 games when the total is set at 9 or higher. Toronto, the under is 6-1 in their last 7 games in game 2 of a series, and under is 5-1-1 in their last 7 against the American League West. So give me the Blue Jays and the Oakland A's under 9. That's minus 110 at BetMGM. Sticking with baseball, we're going back to the same bet we did yesterday, and I don't even know who the starting pitcher is for Tampa Bay yet, but Jordan Lyles is pitching for the Kansas City Royals. I'm taking the Tampa Rays on the run line again. It's minus 125, so it's juicier than yesterday. But Jordan Lyles for the Kansas City Royals is 0-11 with a 6.72 ERA. Last year in 32 starts, he was 12-11. He's already lost as many games this year as he did all of last season, and he's lost those 11 in 15 starts. So it's not like he's, getting screwed over by run support. He's given up 3, 5, 5, 1, 5, 4, 7, 4, 6, 7. He's averaging 4.7 earned runs given up in 5.1 innings of work each time out. Kansas City Royals are bad. They're very bad. Even though they're 6-4 in their last 10. Well, that's head-to-head, sorry. They're 3-7 in their last 10. Tampa Bay is 5-5. They lost game 1 of this series. They're not going to lose 2 of 3 to Kansas City. Not when they're playing in Tampa. So I'm going to take the Devil Rays again. On the run line, minus 125. That is at Betway. It's just, you just bet against Jordan Lyles. It's just what you do. And then the last bet of the day, we're going to go to the CFL. Now, you can do 2 things here. You can get Saskatchewan plus 3.5, or you can just take them straight up. I'm taking them straight up on the money line because it's plus 145 at Bet365. Okay. You've got the Saskatchewan Roughriders, who are coming off a 45-27 loss to Winnipeg. They're 1-1 on the season. Winnipeg just crapped the bet against BC, but Winnipeg is a very good football team. Now, yes, they lost by 18 points, but they still got 437 yards of offense in that game against Winnipeg. They only allowed 3 sacks against a Bombers defense who had been very good in that outing, and they got 3 touchdowns from quarterback Trevor Harris. You look at Calgary, they're coming off a win, but it was against Ottawa. I don't take any wins against Ottawa all that seriously. Jake Meyer did have a better game for Calgary. He went 22 of 33 for 270 yards, but look, man, they had 5. They even got 5 turnovers against Ottawa. That's not going to happen against a team like Saskatchewan. They're not going to get them to turn the ball over 5 times. I know this game is in Calgary, but still, the Roughriders are going to have 2 key defensive players back for this game. They've got linebacker Derek Moncrief is back and cornerback Nick Marshall back. These are defensive standouts. These are exceptionally good players. They are starting 2 new offensive tackles, but on their offensive line, one being former 4th-round NFL pick Gerald Hawkins. I just don't see a way that the Calgary Stampeders can win this game. You're taking it, again, from a team that just beat the Ottawa Red Blacks. Okay, that's great. I think that Trevor Harris he's a much better quarterback going into this game. Saskatchewan just hung with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers for 4 straight quarters. So I'm going to take the money line. Again, you can take the spread plus 3.5. I like that as well. Calgary might have the better coaching staff. I think Saskatchewan just has a better roster. Trevor Harris is the better quarterback. And I think the Riders are better than people think. And I think Calgary probably isn't as good as people give them credit for because of their, decisive wins. So I'm going to take the Saskatchewan Roughriders straight up on the money line here. It's plus 145 at Bet365. Huge value if you like that term, but I'll take it. So before we run down the card, just a reminder again, the QR code or the link in the description below, you use that. Make a deposit at the sportsbook. I used BetMGM, Betway, and Bet365 today. Make a minimum deposit. You're guaranteed the best exclusive offers and bonuses, thanks to my partnership with Bandstamp and those books. So your rundown for your card today, I'm taking the Oakland A's and the Toronto Blue Jays to go under 9. That's minus 110 at BetMGM. Taking the Tampa Bay Rays once again on the run line for minus 125 at Betway. And I'm taking the Saskatchewan Roughriders to beat the Calgary Stampeders straight up plus 145 at Bet365. As always, drop a comment if you're fading or following. You can follow me on Twitter, Talk Sports throughout the day. And your audio is on Apple and on Spotify. Have a great Saturday, and let's talk sports.